Vieux-Fort South MP and former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony punched holes in opposition leader Allen Chastanet'S claims on the government's forecasted growth rate. Chastanet, during his contribution to the debate on the 2024 estimates, claimed that the economy was on autopilot and that it experienced its last burst of growth before returning to pre-pandemic figures. Dr. Anthony rebutted with the contention that the growth rate had been exhausted long before under previous leadership.
But even if you want to argue on its merits that that is the case, then how on earth are you going to explain a growth rate of 7.3% in 2024? My goodness. If you have to argue that in 2024 that 7.3 growth rate don't exist, or that you have to attribute it to growth rate following the pandemic, then in effect what you will have to concede and admit that never ever before in the history of St. Lucia has an economy enjoyed such growth in such a short space of time. Because now you're talking about growth rate in their 20s and possibly reaching their 30s.
The truth is what you believe it to be, but it doesn't change the truth. I've learned from you.
Dr. Anthony argued that the contemporary opposition UWP employs absurdities in arguments, all in the hopes of propagating its flawed philosophical outlook of Chastanet's subjective truth as what you believe it to be mantra.
Maybe that is what is at play, the philosophy, the outlook, that the truth is not really the reality, but what you want to believe it to be. And that, of course, as we have learned over the years and over the months, Mr. Speaker, there are those who will accept that kind of logic and drink that kind of logic to their heart's content and delight. The truth is what you believe it to be. And what a predicament for a leader of an opposition to have to answer to those growth rates.
The parliamentary representative for Vieux-Fort South also addressed criticisms of the current budget figures. He stated that if the administration maintains healthy checks and balances, a $2 billion budget is likely in the foreseeable future, which he counts as an achievement.
Mr. Speaker, I accept that the value of money has been eroded substantially. Money has lost a lot of value because of inflation. But I say that even if that is so, it remains a real significant achievement that we have a budget of $1.8 billion. We have come a long way. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, I'm not making any pronouncements. I believe, it's just my own belief, that if this government perseveres, then in 2 years' time, we will see a budget of $2 billion. That, in my books, Mr. Speaker, will be an achievement if the respective balances remain as healthy as we have indicated in the budget summary.
Dr. Anthony, while supporting the Prime Minister's declaration of the Year of Infrastructure, said that it is not for big contractors, but for ordinary citizens. Gina Filippi, HDS News Force.